What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Beyond Canary Zone for another breakdown of another win, of another positive result. This time against Sassuolo at home, 3-0. In a very interesting games for many reasons, but we're gonna delve into that. As always, with me is Norbert and Malik. How are you guys doing today?
Hey, I'm doing well, thank you, and can't wait to talk about this game.
Yeah, not too bad. Good to be back.
Uh, if you're not doing well in this moment in time, then yeah,
Deeper issues, yeah.
a couple of hours ago, or like I was just out, and I was thinking, man, uh, this time last season, or maybe not, yeah, probably this time. I think this time season. So I think we lost against Napoli around this time,
We did.
5-1. I was like, wow, like I that was some depressing stuff because I was cleaning up the channel a little bit, and I was coming across content we made back then and thumbnails and whatever. I was like, how, like, how did I do that? Look, and Julian, how did we talk about these things week in, week out, basically? And how did we kind of flipped it? Because up to that point, I think nobody would have imagined for us to be at, in this spot right now, but that's credit to Allegri, I guess, which we will get into. But on the game, quick question: what do you make of that game, Norbert? You go first, just in general.
Yeah, I will not be too positive. 3-0, eh? So many chances. No. We won because we have special players like Vlahovic and Chiesa, Yildiz, I guess. Um, yeah, I we didn't have what was our XG at the end? 1 point something, really
Point
low.
nine one, yeah.
Yeah, I checked on Flash Score. It showed 1.01, and I know Sofa Score is 0.91. Um, to be honest, Sassuolo didn't really have a chance. Just that one shot where Tech showed something incredible, like
Yeah.
like and other than that, we kind of controlled the game, and then two fantastic goals that I couldn't scream because my daughters were sleeping in the room next to me, so I was I don't know, screaming into the pillow. But those were crazy goals, and I'm so happy for Vlahovic that finally he found his form, and also we scored a lot of goals in the past few games,
Yeah.
even though cup games were, the main sources of goals. But yeah, Allegri, I guess, I don't know. I don't want Allegri to go now.
I think. Yeah, no, I don't. I want to say I don't think anyone wants him to go, but that's a fat lie. I think quite a few people still want him to go.
Yeah, it's because he left for a reason when he left. Because we were bad in the Champions League, and we played boring, and
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. But for now, I want him to stay, but I don't want him to extend.
Well, that's something we can talk about later on because it was in
Yeah.
the news today a little bit. Um, Malik, what do you make? 3-0?
Well,
Fantastic, no?
it's a good win, yeah, yeah. And as you said, comparing to last year, it's a complete turnaround. And 3-0 is a bit flattering, yes, but I don't care. I'll take it. Where the group feels good. There's something different about the team, especially in the last 2 months or so. I feel like mentally, especially, this team has grown a lot, and we continue to win. So another one against Sassuolo. Sure, you might argue no chances created, but you know the players are feeling good. Vlahovic is gaining his form finally, so that's good to see. I'm happy. Who can't be happy?
Yeah. I think everybody is happy with what the club or what the team is doing now. Um, the crazy thing, because you brought up XG, Vlahovic had an XG of not even 0.1 when he scored those two goals. Like, that's the XG he had at that moment in time. You know, I don't know how he finished the game with how much. Probably not high because that was about it. But that's what I said. Like the narrative, and people like the video. Let's get to 40 likes on this one. But the narrative with Vlahovic is this, because I saw nothing negative yesterday about Vlahovic, and I'm not saying I should be seeing negative stuff about him. However, if he didn't make that work yesterday out of nowhere twice, there would have been nothing for him again. And that's what I've always been saying. You know, if he gets that one chance and he doesn't put it away, it looks bad. You know, we didn't create anything yesterday, but is that any different to what we have been doing the entire season? Not really. You know, like against Salernitana, we didn't create any chances against Salernitana in Serie A. We didn't. You know, just go back game by game. Napoli, like it's not that we create a lot. That's not the team we are. So I moaned about it for weeks basically, but I accepted that this is who we are. We're winning in a different way, but with the narrative around Vlahovic, that's what I've always said. You know, because now everybody was like, "Wow, fantastic!" But if you just forget about the two goals for a minute, did he had any real touches in the box, you know, to be dangerous? Not really. No, not that I can recall. Or that goes for anyone up to Chiesa in the last minute and he put it away. Other than that, it was kind of the same thing, but it's been for weeks, you know. It's not that this happened yesterday and we should be like, "Oh my god, what just happened with this free-flowing attacking football?" Like that's not what it is. So that's what I've always said about Vlahovic, you know. If he doesn't get if he only gets one chance a game and it's not working for him, it will look bad for him. It was looking for bad for Chiesa as well up to a certain point into the season. So what he did yesterday is fantastic. He's probably not going to do that again every single week because that was ridiculous. And that's still my biggest. Like we're good, you know, points wise, we're fantastic, whatever. But that's still my worry a little bit. You know, if we go to an Inter or whatever and they put us under pressure and they get a goal, we need to fight back, you know, and that's still my biggest worry. That's why I still don't believe we're gonna win it. I think we will fall short at the end of the season, and that's just only for that reason alone. You know, I don't think we will collapse and start losing games, whatever. And this was all a charade, you know, and it's false. It's a false image. I don't believe that. But if we're not gonna win it, I think it's just because we're gonna not pick up obviously enough points to do so, but purely based on at one point it's not a late minute goal that's gonna bail you out or two screamers that's gonna make it work in Syria. That's just my only big sticking point at this moment in time. Other than that, it's okay for this season, I guess.
Yeah, but we're saying this that at one day or at one point our luck will run out, or this not creating any chances will hunt us down. But it's not happening. Um,
No, no, no. For now, no.
yeah, and what I wanted to say is what I said to told Malik as well, that Vlahovic has a girlfriend, and it shows. To be honest.
Really? I don't. I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
see
yeah.
that. I thought he.
She,
I thought he had one. No.
no, he has a he has
Okay.
a. I think he has one for a month or two now. She's new,
Just.
so
I didn't. Oh,
it
if that.
helps. Sometimes maybe he was sad before, small things. But man, Yildiz, yo, that kid is so smooth with the ball. Oh my
Oh
god,
man,
so
yeah.
many nutmegs yesterday as well. That kid is so good. I
Yeah,
love
but
Yildiz.
adding on to what Ale said about the quality, like Grinta can only take you so far, you know.
Yeah,
At some point, there's gonna come a time where like Grinta's not gonna win us a game, and you know, and when we just lose points by simply not creating enough. But that doesn't seem to be happening right now. But it just keeps you on your toes, you know. Inter look ruthless throughout the whole season. They win games by 4 and 5. That's the thing. There's that certainty with them. But if we can keep this up until the end of the season, then you never know. You know.
yeah,
Yeah, like we can keep it up. I like that's. It's just still my worry because, it,
Yeah, you're always gonna be concerned because of that factor. You know, it's not we're not trying to be negative or anything. It's just
yeah,
the
because
reality.
how many late
This one
games
was
did we
also
win this season? Saritana, Verona, um, Bologna. We picked up a point. there was another game we won late, Monza away from home. So it's a lot, you know. Now it's not by luck because we keep going until the end. So that's credit
Hmm.
to the team. But you you will wish because we're not, like it's happening against very poor sides. That's my biggest concern a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, if you know what I mean. Because Verona are poor, Salernitana are poor. Monza are not good. You know, that's just my only worry that against these teams, you should be putting them away. Now, yesterday we did put them away, but it was because of like Norbert said at the beginning, just pure individual brilliance, and I think nobody was expecting that from Vlahovic, yesterday, which makes it even rarer, I guess. But Vlahovic, he has been playing very, very well lately. That's just my opinion. I think he has 4 goals and 2 assists in 4 games, um, which which is good, obviously. Like that's quite a lot, That's and big goals as well. Frosinone, that was a big goal. Sanitana was a big goal. Obviously, yesterday, 2 massive goals because that kind of killed off the game completely. Um, so that's good. But just his play, I don't know if it's because he has a new girlfriend, but he's been working on it for months and weeks. I think we talked about it on one show. I think it was early October,
Yeah.
and we said like it's evident, like it's really working on it, and it was maybe taking away of just focusing on scoring goals, and it still looked a little bouncy. It still looked a little bit to push whatever. Now it looks more natural, which is normal because if you start to drill a certain thing, it takes time uh, to uh, to get better at, and us seeing it every single week, well, we can keep track of progress, and it has been massively improved. I did my reaction, and somebody in the comments, I'm not calling you out, said that it still takes way too long to uh, make the decision on the ball. I guess I think that something along those lines is what the comment said, and I think it will always take that amount of time because just who he is. He's not a very silky player that's gonna control it and just pin it. Like that's just not gonna happen ever. So I think at that point we were a bit nitpicking and we were saying, okay, now we need to do this, this, this. Like I want Vlahovic to score goals. What about that? That's just what I want. The Wola played good. It was horrible last season. Like it was just bouncing off his feet like a pinball machine. So I get it. It needed to improve, but whatever, excuse me. If he starts scoring goals, that's all I care about. That's at the end of the day, he's number 9. That's all I care about. And let's hope he keeps it up now, because I don't know how many goals has he? 9?
9.
Isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, that's not
Yeah.
enough. We're halfway through the season. I was expecting him to be at 12, 13 at this point, at least.
Yeah.
So he needs to make up a lot of ground because, in my opinion, he should be ending with 20 goals at least in Serie A, which is a big ask. That's 11 goals. I don't know how many games still? 17? 18?
Mm,
I think 18, right? Um,
yes. He was the
that's
20th. Yeah.
so
Yeah,
that's a
I think.
lot. He's like that's it's reasonable when you think about it, 11, but the pace he's on, that's quite a lot in my opinion. But
But
what
the
do you
form
make
he's
of
on.
Lau? The form
Yeah.
he's on, it,
Yeah.
it, it seems like easy, light work.
Yeah.
However,
So
there's no proof that he keeps it up.
yeah, personally, the difference between him now with ball control and hold up play from last year and this year is like two different players. And it's important when you have like fast wingers or whatever, and they can run and he can hold the ball a little bit and then he can pass it back. And but yeah, what form he's on right now, it's crazy. And also his mentality I really like, and everything. um yeah, I don't know. uh don't sell him, please don't sell him.
Yeah, and last year he had 12 goal involvements. Now he already has 12 goal involvements.
Yeah.
I saw
He
that.
got his ninth league goal last year in May. I believe it was May against Atalanta or Lecce, one of the two. And now he already has 9 league goals. So, yeah.
I saw that. And that's also kind of testament to how how well he has improved in certain areas of the pitch. Now the scoring one, like I said, we don't create a lot of chances for me to think he's gonna back Lautaro numbers. I don't think we're that
No,
type of team,
definitely.
you know. And Hanin made a comment. He said we need more creative players. I feel Allegri can do more. Can't do more. I um I agree we need more creative players. I disagree with the fact he can do more. I think he can, and that's just purely based on playing different players.
Mm.
That's just
By the
all.
way,
Like, not really tweaking anything because he didn't tweak anything lately. But it's just Cambiaso. You link up with Miretti. I put Junior in a little bit. Like the dynamic of the game changes.
yeah,
That's what he can do now. He cannot turn Rabiot in. I don't know, Marquisio or like that's just it's not gonna happen. I get that, you know. The players he has, they're not gonna change, but the decisions he make with certain players playing in certain areas of the pitch, that will make a difference, just purely based on individual quality, in my opinion.
yeah. What I want to say is I predicted Lautaro to win the top goal scorer. By the way,
I didn't. I don't know. I said Vlahovic because I was like, that's my expectation.
No, me too. Yeah, I got carried away with that. I
oh,
got carried away with a lot of my predictions, to be honest.
yeah, that's easy. What 2 points for me on the prediction in the prediction league?
Oh yeah, that one. Oh yeah,
I
that
have
one.
my chart. I know the. I'm leading. I'm leading, guys, with like
I
5 points.
He has ruined my full points yesterday. But
actually
I still
the
take that.
Yes.
is
Yeah.
the league one is still in there, right? The big one.
So
Oh yeah, I got it. I got it. I got it.
yeah.
People do not know what we're talking about,
Yes.
and it's a
They can
members
still
club.
win.
It's a members club. So if you want to join, you can join like these two, Norbert and um, Malik or Hanin in the chat, and you can join the prediction league. You can win a jersey. How many points do you have, Norbert? Because I'm not
Uh, just a sec. I'm opening it right now. I have. So I added already the top goal scorer and
the
all that
top goal
stuff.
scorer. Yeah.
I have 31.
Okay.
Hanin has 26. Malik has 25. Jockey Bro has
Oh,
24.
Okay.
so means battle for second place.
But if you want to become a member, you can click the link like these guys, and you can also join the channel if you want, or you can come on and have your say as well, and join the Discord private group and the prediction league. You can still win prizes second and third, by the way. I need to start making the chart. Like I saved the results, but I've not kept track of it, which is not good because it's almost halfway through, and that's a lot of work for me to do. However,
Yes.
probably gonna do it this weekend. But yeah, that's the title of the show, Vlahovic narrative. So that we discuss for now. The second part of the show, or the big topic, is do you want something positive or negative? Do you want Yildiz or Kostić?
Do Kostić and then
Okay,
we
yeah,
we
yeah.
build up.
Let's do Kostić and then we'll go to Yildiz because very simple question: what needs to happen for Allegri to look at Kostić and say, I'm gonna help you out, but not by not playing you. Like, what needs to happen at this point?
Personally, I think a big mistake.
Again, like he made two.
No, more. I don't know, like a really obvious big mistake. By the way, I had a dream with Kostić. I don't know what does that mean for the future, but yeah, he bought himself out of his contract, and we were crying a little bit, and we were talking. And in my dream, he was Belgian. That was really weird, and he was blonde as well. So I don't know.
That's Salamat, not Kostić.
Yeah, I don't know. I think one mistake that Allegri just hates, and that's it. But maybe not like maybe never. Maybe he always start for it. I don't know. I really don't.
The
Yesterday
only
as
way,
well, he did nothing.
the only way I see Kostić being benched is if Illing develops the same work rate as him, because the whole reason I think Allegri keeps playing him is because of his work rate. So.
But actually, yesterday, like defensively was good, but offensively, like it was poor again. But is there
Usually, yeah.
proof, or like, am I missing something that Junior doesn't work hard, or that he defensively is a liability? Like, did I miss
Nothing
something?
stops
Because
that.
I've
Nothing. Stops
like at one point, like even yesterday, I was like, maybe I missed something. Maybe I want to see this happening, and and see Junior more and maybe Kostić on the bench, that I'm, you know, because I have a quote unquote agenda, I'm forgetting about stuff Junior messed up, you know. Maybe that's a fact. So that's why I ask people. Nobody can respond to me. So I think I'm pretty safe to say that there's no proof that Junior will be a mess. There is no
Yeah.
proof. And people can say, oh, Allegri sees him in training. We see Kostić live every single week. What does that mean? Like, he's terrible. It's not just fans, it's media. Everybody says so. He's not playing well. So I don't know what he does in training, you know, because we cannot see that. That's a very easy excuse. Or you don't see what's happening in training. Fine. Okay, you know. But we do see what's happening on the field, and actually nothing is happening. At this point, yes, even yesterday, that heavy touch in the first half, you know, or he wanted to cross. He didn't see anything in the second half, and he was like, "I'm just gonna pull it back," and he pulls it back to midfield, past Vlahovic, and I was like, "Dude," I looked at it. I looked at him. I looked at him, and I was like, "Come on, Allegri, just help him out and to like give him a break." You know, it's like you're making it worse because um, the the criticism like the criticism he receives is it's not gonna disappear. I don't think it's gonna disappear if he scores on the weekend. It's just not gonna happen. You know, it's at one point Allegri needs to look at him and it's like, fine, I like Kostić, but he needs to be honest with himself and he's like, come on, that's
Or play Cambiasso on the left and play McKennie on the right.
Yeah, that would be the ideal scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he doesn't like Ealing for some weird reason, we still have other options.
that's what I said. Like, it doesn't need to be Junior, like whatever.
Yeah.
R&B comes and don't think Kostić was the worst player on the pitch, in my opinion. Well, maybe not if you include the Sassuolo players, but for us, he was. Like, he was.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
definitely.
Like, he wasn't. He was the worst player. And when I say worst, he didn't had a disaster of a game, but he was not. He was the worst player of that pitch.
He's crazy assists like last year. They're not coming this year. No, not from corners, not from free kicks. So he has no production, and his crosses are
That was his big thing.
horrible. Yeah.
Miretti was quite poor too, I think. Yeah, I don't agree with that. Like, you're not scoring those 2 goals without Miretti. Like, it's not gonna happen. Again, you know, he wins that fight. Like, Miretti, I don't want to have that debate anymore. But I watched yesterday's game, that first half. Miretti was far more important than Kostić was at any point in that first half, and that's when we won that game. Like, that's
he
just
made
where it is.
mistakes, but he's young.
Yeah, but
and,
Kostić makes mistakes every single week.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. Like, I thought Miretti was good again. You know, I thought he was good again.
He
because
made a
foul.
little bit more mistakes, but when he actually
That's-
played the ball, he was good. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't to the degree where you're like, oh, sub him off, you know?
Yeah, that's
Sure, it's kind
that's
of
my
an offering
point.
to
Like,
Miretti, but still,
because
Kostić has its
I don't think
problems.
Rabiot had a good, like, a fantastic game. Like, he just had a Rabiot game.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't flashy. It wasn't. When I came out of that game, I was like, man, Rabiot, that was it. Like, he didn't have that type of game, you know. And that goes under radar. People are like, oh, he does a job, and I'm like, okay, fine, you know, but it's a bleak job. It's 9 million euros, almost 8.5 or whatever it is at this point. You know, I'm like, he gets away with a lot of things. Other players who are not getting away, in my opinion. But Kostić, he needs help, and with help, Allegri needs to help him out and say, you know what, sit it out. You know, just sit it out. Yeah, and it doesn't need to be Junior. It can be Cambiasso, and you can play McKennie on the right or Weah on the right. Excuse me, whatever you want. But at this point, it's just help Kostić out, because it's not gonna pop off just out of nowhere. I don't like when I'm watching Kostić play. I'm not like, man, he needs just one thing going his way and he will flip it. I don't have that feeling with him. I don't have that feeling, and that's the worrying part, you know. Because with Vlahovic, I was like, if he gets that 1 goal, it will come good, you know, and it kind of did, you know. But with Kostić, when I see him play, I'm like, he can get a goal next weekend. It's not gonna come good very easy, you know. It's just not, because he was close to a goal against Sanitana. I got, you know, cleared off the line basically. And then the remainder of the game, he was was poor actually up to that point as well. Like, he didn't flip it. He was not like, oh, I was close, now I'm gonna, you know, pick it up. It didn't happen. and that's just a big worry for me. Like I'm not sure what Allegri is waiting on or what he's hoping to achieve at this moment in time. Like I
And
just
what does he want to achieve with Sandro playing Mezzala for 5 minutes?
that was
I
that
don't
was
get it. Why?
I don't know.
Why?
Like the only explanation is he gets like Allegri gets a bonus if Sandro gets the bonus. I'm not sure. Like the the how do you want to say that the idea that Sandro like it was garbage time minutes, but like he will
Yeah.
start games very soon, and I cannot
Yeah.
believe that's actually happening. I
not gonna be here next year, man. What's the point?
that's the biggest point. He's not gonna be here. Yeah, like you're
What
I
not
about
guess
playing.
Hassa? What about Hassa
Ronaldo.
playing those minutes so he finally can,
That Sandro one was that was funny. That was like he put Illing Junior like he kept Junior was coming on last week, and then it was like Kostić, you're playing Junior, you're gonna play Mitzal. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, like he did well. Now you do this again, I'm like, it's not helping, by the way. Rino is saying, please, Moretti makes mistake because he has balls to try to go forward. I want to see more of these mistakes instead of Kostić playing to Alexandro,
Yeah.
playing the Alexandro forwards and Alexandro.
There we
Damn.
go. Yes.
That's
That's
also like a thing. R&B comes saying, I'm still not apologizing on Vlahovic. A few more games and then I'll apologize if he does. If versus Inter, I'll write an essay of an apology. Okay, fair, but like I'm not gonna flip my opinion on a game. That's what I said earlier with Miretti. Oh no, I recorded a video for tomorrow, so I said it in the video with Miretti. Now everybody was like, oh, we don't need signings. I'm like, a couple of weeks ago, everybody was saying sell Miretti. And when I say everybody, a large part of the fan base, and now a large part of the fan base
It's
is
really
saying
silly.
the team is good. You
fan
don't
base
need
is
signing.
very modern football fans are very reactionary. So.
Yeah.
Even on McKennie, I'm like, everybody knows what I think of McKennie. I'm not going to change that. Even when he has a good season, like his impact, his effort, good, but the bar was on the freaking floor. Like you cannot get like lower than he set the bar, than McKennie set the bar. It's not possible. So I'm conflicted. Like I gave him his praise, but I'm not gonna go overboard because he is showing interest in playing football. Like that's just the bare minimum, you know. He's being consistent. That's why I'm praising him for it. He's still very limited, And if the club is like, here you go, 30 million euro player, McKennie, you're on the bench. I'm like, yeah, fine, But that goes for every player. Like I'm not gonna flip it on McKennie now real quickly because a lot of
Yeah.
people are going overboard as well. Like he's doing well, but I've seen takes that he is like Vidal, and I'm like, I'm out. Like if that's what we're gonna do, and compared to Antonio
Let's
Conte
see.
and Vidal, I'm
Come
out.
on.
Like I'm absolutely out. I don't want to. I want to be part of this. Like that's the difference between, being praising and saying crazy things.
Yeah.
Like because he's not Vidal or Antonio Conte. Like he's just not. That's a wild statement.
Yeah, but he's still young, and he showed that he can be better, and for me he can be a sub. It's totally fine. Let's keep him. Let's extend, and he can be a good sub in the Champions League games. I don't know.
Yeah. The Lecce game I will preview Friday a little bit as well, and then my preview on Sunday morning because I have a few things to say on Lecce as well. And another comment saying we can't keep all the youngsters. That's why I said potentially loan. I agree with that. We can't keep all the youngsters.
But when? Now? Now we don't have midfielders. We need Miretti now.
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
Next year?
obviously. But my point was that we lost Fajoli and Pogba, so I think it's a bit weird to say we don't need any help. Like any help is welcome. Like the cohesion of the team, I think I don't know what where that came from. If I'm being completely honest, because we were winning and we were adding quality. So I like if you're not good enough, you're not playing. Like it's just, if you want to play, you play. That you play. So that's the next topic, and it is Yildiz. It is a dilemma, and that's what a lot of people are saying. Chiesa, if you want to play, show it. Show that you can play. Show that you are having a better impact than Yildiz, or like that's kind of the debate. But on Yildiz, let's see where he's at the end of the season. What are we talking about? Is it Miretti or Mikani? Hanin? But that goes for both players, by the way. But Yildiz came out of nowhere. I think when we said, give him some minutes, we were thinking about like give him 15 minutes. We want to see some more
Yeah.
instead of 5 or 3. Like, go back to the Genoa game. Like, and we were chasing a goal, um, and he gave Yildiz like 3 minutes or like something like that, and we were like, what is that absolute garbage? And then King gets injured, and he was like, yeah, now potentially gets minutes, and no. Then Chiesa gets out, and he was like, okay, now I do not have any choice. Like, Yildiz, you're up basically, and well, he took it, by heart, and he said, okay, I'm up. I'm not giving it up anymore now. Basically, I think that's what like, that's a statement he made ever since he got the opportunity. Like, he showed that you actually cannot bench me really here, coach. Like, if you're gonna bench me, then what are we doing basically? And I know people are saying, oh, he needs to prove it. He's young. He is proving it, and yes, he will have an absolutely stinker probably soon. Who doesn't? Like, who doesn't? It will probably happen, but this far, it's not happening. You need to ride that wave as long as possible, because even yesterday when I was watching him play, and he wasn't dangerous in the final third. Actually, nobody really was beside Vlahovic, but the way he picks up the ball, slows down plays, like dictates tempo, skips by players. Even the balls he plays, like they're clean. Like, they're not overhit, or you need to track back like a few meters, and everything is out of the tempo, or the pace is out of the game. He's just actually, he looks very mature, which is not, and that's impressive. That's
Yeah,
impressive.
but I think Chiesa will start against Lecce because he
I think
already
as well.
played now 40 minutes or something. He played 36, 5 something. I think next step is he will start. But I would love to see them together, but we will not see that, I think.
What do you
Yeah.
think, Malik? This?
Oh, yeah, I haven't said anything about him. The last time I was here
Yeah,
was
yeah.
over.
That's why I'm asking you. Last time it
Oh
was.
man, like this guy, man, there's something special about him, isn't there? Just the way he moves, the way he goes past players. You know, he's so mature for his age. He's only 18, and the
Yeah.
technical quality he has is unbelievable. I'm so glad he's on a contract until 2027, and I'm glad he's getting minutes and proving himself. Even it's not just Juventini that are hyping him up. It's like a lot of people I see on Twitter are looking at him saying, "Oh, this kid is special," So I'm really happy about that. I hope he starts more games. I hope because every time he plays, he's doing something. So yeah,
Actually, he is doing more, and I'm
yeah,
excited
exactly.
more about him than Chiesa.
Yeah, like at this point, like, oh, I love Chiesa. Everybody
Yeah,
knows I love Chiesa and everything. But like, if Chiesa can't play, at this point, I'm more serene. I'm not saying I'm happy he's injured or anything. I'm just saying if he can't play,
yeah.
I'm still calm because Yildiz is there. And that
That.
and that and that just goes to show the quality Yildiz has.
Yeah.
It's insane. I would never thought at the beginning of the season that we would say
Yeah,
it. That
like
Yildiz has more quality or as much quality as Chiesa.
when we signed him from Bayern 2 years ago, I thought he was gonna be another Plus Valencia player.
Yes,
But wow, if he keeps this up, he's gonna be a superstar of the team in a few years.
but he must be really good at practices as well. Otherwise, Allegri would not play him. So
Hmm.
You. I. I didn't saying I didn't see that last season in the next gen. I'm gonna cook Julian, who will come on I think next week. Scheduled for a podcast once a month. I'm gonna cook him because he made. I already admitted he was wrong. It's like that's not gonna translate. I've seen him play live. This play over here, like under 19s Champions League, and when I did a show with Julian back then, and I was like, I think you're wrong. I said it backstage. I think it's gonna translate because it looks. He does it without any effort. Like, it doesn't look forced. It doesn't look. When Salah dribbles,
He looks very natural. Yeah, he
it looks
does.
not when a player like Salah dribbles, it doesn't really look. I'm not slating Salah, by the way, but like, it doesn't look. Like, some players, if they try to dribble, it doesn't look natural. Like it's kind of forced, but it works good. But for him,
Holland.
yeah. But for him, it looks supernatural. It looks like it's just, yeah, that's what I do every single
He
day
looks
of the
like he
week.
ice skates when he dribbles. You know, it's very elegant. It's
Yeah,
very smooth.
and what Hanin is writing about last season, I watched those under 23 games as well, and oh boy, Yildiz didn't look like special at all, and wow.
You,
Yeah, that's what I was hearing last year. That's why I thought he was just going to be another player used in a swap deal or something
no.
at some point.
I like he didn't look from the under 19s. Yeah, under 19s. I include that and the next gen. The only player that I've looked at, and I agree, like he didn't look that you sit back and you're like, okay, wait, I'm putting it different. Like the type of goals he scored and all those things, I was impressed. But like special, I only have that with Miretti and Huijsen the last couple of years, like in the youth level. That's the only two players I looked at and was like, that's special, you know. But with Yildiz, I'm like, that's good, you know. I wasn't expecting this. I was expecting more. How do you want to say? I want to say goal involvements, but he has goal involvements, but just more dangerous in and around the box. Now I'm watching it. I'm sitting back and I'm like, he reminds me of Dybala. He really
Yeah.
does. He really does. You know, and maybe he's not gonna get the output of Dybala. I'm not sure. But when I'm seeing play and he drops in, you know, and even on the edge of the box, it's so calm and so natural. I'm like, it reminds me of Dybala. It really, really reminds me of Dybala. Picking up the ball, like there's no issue with him protecting the ball, setting up his body. Like I'm like, wow, like that's just impressive. It is.
Yeah,
And oh, you
go
go.
on.
No, no, you
No,
go.
no, no. Remember how Dybala used to move around
Oh, you.
so easily in his first, especially in his first season, 15, 16.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's the
That
sort of
was.
like that's the sort of vibe I get from Yildiz. The way he just moves around like that is just
And his how he moves the ball around the defenders, that's also crazy. Like he gets the right rhythm, the right time, the right step,
yeah.
and then he's
uh,
gone. And I think he's a little faster than Dybala.
He
But
is.
He is.
yeah,
Yildiz
He's.
is
He's
pretty
quite quick.
fast. Yeah.
yeah.
That's why I said Dybala first season because I always had this opinion that Dybala slowed down as the years
And
progressed.
he's tall as well,
Is he is?
relatively tall.
I
Yeah,
think they're
he's
around
not.
the
He's
same.
not. Well, I'm not the biggest guy. So, um, but
180, no, 180 ish. He looks like
yeah, I think
180.
it's something like that. Yeah.
And
Um,
RB Combs also wrote about what I noticed as well, how when he comes off the
yeah.
pitch, is a big hug between him and Allegri. So
That's
I
good to
think
see.
he's really thankful that he can play, and Allegri likes him.
Oh yeah. I think Allegri absolutely adores him, and I think also Allegri sitting back, he was like, phew, like thank God, you know, because if we didn't have him in the last couple of games, it would have been an issue. It would have been an issue. Just the way we play, relief pressure, it would have been an issue. And Del Juve Piero is saying what I said. Like he reminds him of a young Dybala. Johnny, hello. It's been a while, actually. Hope everything is still good with you. Thanks for joining. Um,
Someone said I saw this tweet a few weeks ago after his goal versus Salernitana in the Coppa that he dribbles like Dybala and he runs like Chiesa.
Yeah, in a way that when he runs, he looks down, and the way he moves. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, huh?
uh, I have a few comments I want to go through. LJ is saying Yildiz is opening space for Duzan, and I think that's why Duzan is picking up scoring. When Yildiz have the ball, three runs like that's like the movement is important because like it draws defenders out. That's why when Kostić is on one side, it's more difficult for other players as well. Drake is saying I kind of get a hint of Bernardo Silva. Uh, Bernardo Silva was ridiculous. I see what you're trying to say. The close control of the ball and the way he sets up his movement immediately with his first touch is it's something you cannot learn. I think that's why Allegri also likes him, you know, because he doesn't make when Allegri comes out post game and he says, "I think he lost one ball," and it wasn't true. Like he lost a couple. You know what I mean? Like one mistake where you're like, you should have been smarter there. But then he says, actually, he plays clean every single week. If you're 18 and even Allegri says that about you, then you're probably gonna
Yeah.
get you're you're probably gonna survive at the club.
Yeah,
This
Allegri was constantly complimenting his intelligence for football. He always says the players that know understand football are the best, and he keeps saying that about Yildiz. So,
and that's what Nino was saying. And he's two-footed, which is also very important. You know, especially with his dribbling and the switch up play. I think that's like maybe not finishing that comes in handy as well, but he can against on the weekend against no, not on the weekend, at home. Our last previous home game was Salernitana in the cup. Was it? Yeah, it was Salernitana in the cup.
Frosinone and the
Frosinone in the cup. He picks up the ball on the edge of our box, and I think everybody saw that clip, and I don't know how he does that, but he pulls his body,
Yeah,
and like that's a ball you should be playing with your left foot, and he
yeah.
just pulls his body and he flicks it with his inside of his right boot in stride for Kostić, I think it was, and I was like, that's ridiculous because if I attempt, then I'm probably gonna pull a muscle in my in my neck or something because that was
He's
off
young.
platform. That was weird. That was weird, and still that was so clean. I'm like, yeah. And again, I'm not going overboard with the hype because I know what's coming. I'm not hoping, but I cannot recall a youngster, you know, bursting onto the scene and not having off games. Like I cannot recall. Maybe Messi, I don't know, but that's what it is. So we will have a period where you're looking, you will be looking at him. And you're like, okay, it's not really coming off, and that's fair. That's gonna happen. But for now, he's helping us out big time because if like Chiesa's not there, then we have absolutely nothing of that if that ilk. In terms of he's gonna take on a player, he's gonna keep the ball, he's gonna dictate pay. Like we don't have that type of player. So and even with Chiesa is different, by the way. Like I don't see
Yeah,
Chiesa dropping in. Like he's more chaotic. He's more very
yeah,
direct. So they're two different profiles. But to replace Chiesa, it's different. However, I still think it's important. Away to Salernitana, and people were like, I saw that the reactions of the media after the game. Like, call me crazy, but that Salernitana away game, I thought that was his best game because it was extremely tough. We were not really like we were controlling the game, but not with the same desire and intensity in the previous games. But he made things work. Like skipping, drawing fouls. I was so impressed with that game he played there, and for me that was still his best game. I know people will pick the games where you score goals, whatever, and that's okay, fine. But that game, I was like, wow, that was actually quality in a game that in the first half not many players were real quality at that moment in time, and he stood out. And I was like, that's impressive again. But good news for us, I guess. R&B Com made a comment saying that I'd rather sell Junior and Sule than Yildiz. I think everybody would agree that.
Mhm.
However, you shouldn't be selling them, and like you can keep all of them before you're sure that they're not good enough. But if you're gonna give that option, then I think everybody's gonna pick Yildiz at this point.
Mm. I wanted to bring up a topic, Giallo, the new signing. That we also that he's not really a defender, and his aerial ability and all
Oh
this
yeah,
stuff
that
is
one.
not good. You know why? Because I think he will play as a left back in a four defense
You think?
system.
You
Yeah,
think so?
yeah, that's what
Um,
I think. I don't know if it's I don't know if now, but from the summer, if Allegri stays and not as a starter, I don't think he can start, and we will need a left back. But I think that's what's gonna happen because all the clips and stuff I saw, okay, he's a defender, but like he's good passing and good with progressing the ball forward, and not as good in like heading and all that stuff. So I think he will be a left back.
I
Or right and Cambiaso as well.
Yeah, he can play left, right, whatever. Yeah, that's
Because he's
that's
right
what's good.
footed. So,
Yeah, yeah,
I still
he
think
can
we're
play
gonna
both.
play back three next season, but it's not gonna
yeah,
be
me
with
too.
wingbacks. I don't
Because
think it's gonna be with wingbacks like now, but I still think it's
yeah,
gonna be a back three. That's
With
just a feeling
wingers
I
or
have.
what? Like wingers
Yeah,
up
yeah,
top
with
or
wingers.
with Chiesa and Yildiz maybe.
Yeah,
I'd
maybe
like
like
to see
one
that.
dropping in. That's what I think is gonna
mm,
happen. I just I don't know. That's just a feeling. With the team we have, you cannot go into next season again and we say we're gonna play 3-5-2 because that's a big issue. Like if
yeah,
this is the team we have and you add quality, then you're gonna need to make some tweaks.
We
here
have
and
so
there.
many good wingers, and Illing, please, Illing needs to play up front, not like
He's a winger. He's not a
yeah,
winger. He
yeah,
just
yeah.
yeah.
I saw a comment or two I wanted to break up. Enzo saying, "Would you want Benzema to be our Lukaku striker if we get rid of Vlahovic for money in the summer?" No, I don't want. I don't want Benzema. Like, stop. We
Mm-mm.
no. If you're
He would
selling,
never come, anyways. Benzema would never come to
no,
Juve.
I don't think as well. But if we sell Vlahovic in the summer, I want a player who's not an out of out number 9. Basically, if Allegri is a coach, I think we should be going in a different direction. Who that is, I don't know, up to the club. But if you're gonna sell Vlahovic, I don't want a real number. If you know what I mean. I want a goal
Yeah.
scorer, but it shouldn't be like a number 9. Box player, in my opinion. That's
If
just
Vlahovic ever left like during the season when that was a topic, I was always saying Xerxes would have been an interesting
yeah,
option.
something like that. But maybe even a Boniface. Like, it needs to be a player
Yeah.
that's not, and like that's just my opinion for Allegri. It needs to be very mobile. But let's see how that will go. I think the club wants to keep him. It's just the wage thing is because Romeo was on Juventus, and he was talking about wages, and he said like 8 million. That's out of the order at this moment in time in terms of new contract. That's why they're trying to redo some contracts, because he was asked about the Chiesa situation. I saw another comment I wanted to bring up, but I lost him. So, oh yeah, because it is a big topic, or like it is relevant. And he said, "What do you think about this Juve team? What would they do in the Champions League, or would they be good enough? They wouldn't be good enough. I think it's fair to say.
This team, no.
Like how good, like if I don't know what people mean with Champions League. If you want to, I want to say group round, but group stage, but that's kind of gone. I still need to look into it properly, but it's like 8 games, and the bottom 8 play playoffs, and the first 8, like, I don't know, something like that. I don't know what it is, but it's not good enough. Like, unless you just want to be there to be there, then yes, fine. But if you want to do something, I'm not saying winning, whatever, but just make a respectable run, whatever you want to call it. I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 players in the starting 11 are starting, in my opinion. And I don't really want to delve into it, because people think, oh, it's negative when the moment is positive. That's why I'm not really talking about it. That's, I think, shows and discussions we can have at the end of the season. If we win it or don't win it, it's not going to change my opinion. My mind is made up on certain players in terms of that's their limit, and that's about it. So, but this team at this moment in time, I don't think it's good enough. Another thing I wanted to mention: it's crystal clear that every single player has bought into Allegri's system and Allegri's way of playing. I do agree with that. I think we talked about it, I don't know, weeks ago. That everybody is now in line to do what needs to be done. That
Yeah.
wasn't the case last season, by the way.
Yeah.
Just let me see.
Ooh, you know what I noticed? Is Danilo still posting his Instagram Capitano things or not anymore?
I
Kind of don't see him.
out of nowhere. I'm
The
not sure.
huggings and all that stuff. Maybe that also.
I think after he came out and said I'm not playing well, I don't think he'd come out and do that. He was actually good yesterday, which is good for us because he's gonna play. He's a captain, and I need him to play well. I thought he was.
Yeah.
I thought he was very good yesterday, which
Yeah.
is a positive, because when he came back from injury, he wasn't good, man. It was actually really poor at times. So that's also a good thing. Quick look ahead, because I'm gonna do the preview later on this week, so I'm not really gonna spoil my opinions. However, we do play Lecce, and then we have Empoli at home before Inter. I think it is. No, is it?
Yeah,
It's Lecce,
Yeah.
Empoli, and is there a game in between still?
no, Lecce, Empoli, Inter.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the games we have. Inter are playing the Supercoppa, so we will have a game in hand going into the Inter game.
2 games, no?
Is it 2?
Mm,
I thought it was 1. Did
I
it?
think.
I thought at
No,
the
no,
start
no.
of the season it
It's
was
one.
1.
It's one because they play Fiorentina before us. So.
Okay.
I thought it
Someone
was
said-
1. Or at the
Yeah,
start of the season when I looked it up, I saw one, unless the schedule changed. I'm not sure.
No,
I
no,
think
no.
you're right.
It's just one game because they play Fiorentina before
Okay,
us, and we
so
play
it didn't change.
Empoli before them.
So how how important is it to win the next two games, obviously, and go with top of the league, but go with that fake image, because they have a game in hand into that Inter game. How important is that? Not for us, but for the Inter. And I'm saying for the Inter because I can still not believe what Acerbi said in that interview because it came out of nowhere. Like when he was talking
Allegri
about
got it.
yeah, when he was
Yeah.
talking about money, I'm like, and he was actually calling out figures. I'm like, that's not really what a player should be worrying about. That's just proof that they're sitting there in the locker room. They're like, man, what's happening? Basically, they shouldn't be in this situation. Like we should be just cruising this basically. So how
Yeah.
important is it for us to do that purely based on what Inter will make of it? Juve come to
Super
town.
important. Super important, I think. They will be shaking, you know. I think mentally, if we get top of the league, it's super important. It shows like their comments, their the whatever when they ask them, and then Marotta is saying stuff. I don't know. I think it's super important personally.
Oh, definitely, definitely. It's very important. I don't know, like, especially this year, like, it would give me confidence with the team's mentality. I'm not so sure about Inter's mentality this year. Sure, they have quality and everything, but the way they're just constantly speaking about us, despite being ahead of us,
Yeah.
Acerbi, Marotta, and everything, just leads me to think that if we are ahead of them on the day, they're gonna be chasing it a bit more, and that could play into our favor, or it could be horrible for us. Could go either way really. But I don't know. I have a hot take. I think mentality-wise, we're stronger than them. So
Yeah, I
Oh,
think that's true.
that's actually very hot take. That's very.
no, I think in terms of quality and squad depth, they're better than us. But in terms of team cohesion and mentality, I think we're better than
You
them.
know what I will say? That there's no proof, and that's the big criticism on Inzaghi, that he can get it done when everybody needs to be, like you said, like mindset 100%. Now it needs to get done. He failed twice in Serie A in the league, basically. And that's when what I talked about with Anthony, who will come on the channel the week we play Inter. He said, like, if he doesn't win it, it's done because you cannot fail again, basically. You have the best squad in the league. You should be winning it. You cannot go into, I don't know what it is, April and have that mental collapse again because that kind of happened for him twice. Yes, they made the Champions League, but in the league, it fell apart basically twice. So I agree. I kind of agree with that. With that mindset or like a top process, but um, I don't know. I don't become said even if we lose, we don't. I don't think it's over. Like 5 points, it's not over, but it's a lot considering we need to play a lot of these games away from home. It is a lot. It's not over,
Yeah,
but
What
yeah,
if they drop points against Fiorentina? That's not 5 points then,
yeah.
yeah. We're
And
all
by the way, we
betting.
need to beat Lecce and Empoli. Like that's
Yeah, so
that's first off.
we need to win our
We
games.
need to
So
do. That's
let's
what
away is not easy. So yeah.
Yeah.
that's what I've been saying lately. Like when people, like when fans are focusing, like refereeing mistakes and this and that, I'm just, man, focus on ourselves. Just do our own thing. We're just doing our own thing. Everybody is talking. It's not looking good. Even we fans, we're winning. We just need to do our own thing. And when it comes to points and calculation, beat Lecce, beat Empoli. I set the question. I asked the question because it potentially could be the case that you go top of the league, even with a game in hand, Inter game in hand, into the Inter game. That's okay. However, we just need to focus on our own thing. And I think that's also the big difference this season. Last season it was kind of a weird one because they were like, are we gonna get points? And they were kind of looking ahead. They're not really looking at the next game. Now I feel it's like Sassuolo, we beat them, done. Lecce, focus on Lecce, focus on Empoli, then focus on Inter. And I think that's the big difference. I saw a question or a couple of them. An instant, do you think Inzaghi rotates in the Supercoppa? I don't think so. I think he needs to win it. I'm not sure he's gonna rotate. Who did they play? Do they play Fiorentina? Who's in the Supercoppa, by the way? I'm not
I have
joking,
no
by the way.
idea.
Lazio,
I have no idea.
Fiorentina, and Napoli.
Oh, I'm not gonna watch it, by the way. I don't know when they play. I know they play this week. Is it this weekend? I'm not sure when they play.
They're playing on Friday. Yeah.
I'm not watching that. Like I'm sorry. Like
Me neither. Yeah.
it's like I'm
It's
watching
in
it.
my home country, but no, I'm not watching. I'm
If
not
we
there.
win it, if we are playing the Supercoppa final, I'll watch it because it's Juve.
Yeah.
But I'm
Why would we
not gonna
watch it if
watch.
Juve is not there?
Yeah,
Like
exactly. Yeah.
it's not a
I bet
Supercoppa
we think so.
anymore. Like I don't know
Yeah.
what they did with it. Like like it went from preseason friendly to a mini
It
tournament.
brings money to
It's
the
crazy.
league.
I
Yeah.
get that, but like the trophy is not that important. Like if we don't win a Supercoppa in the season, I couldn't care. Like I'm not gonna cry for missing out on Supercoppa. That's just me personally. If we win it, fine. But like the goal of the season is title, Coppa Italia, Europe, Supercoppa, whatever. You know, because it was a preseason friendly. Like that's what it was.
Yeah.
That was the vibe basically, you know. And
Yeah.
now it turned into I don't know what it like Fiorentina in it. I'm like,
It turned into like a tournament. Yes, Fiorentina are there because they made the Coppa Italia final.
actually I would be pissed, you know, if I was a Juve fan. Man, we need to travel now and play maybe two. Is it a third and fourth place as well? Because
No,
that
I
would
don't.
be
I
that
don't
would be
think so.
absolutely that would
No,
be
that would
insane.
be too much.
But I would be actually pissed, you know, if we needed to now break it off to play. I don't know what it was, you know. I'm not watching that as well. I saw another question from Anin. I'm gonna wrap that one up with Anin's question very soon. The one thing I give Allegri credit for, he never blames refs. I agree, but they do that behind the scenes. That's why they get fined a lot. And at one point, I'm like, the club needs to not make a statement, but in front of the camera, at least make an attempt to say, you know what, this and this is kind of weird, you know. But as long as the club is not doing it, I'm not gonna waste time, you know, talking about Inter's ones. Now, if in the Inter game something insane happens while we're watching the game, obviously, but if the club is always we will accept anything kind of policy, then yeah, like I'm not gonna waste time on it because it's pointless in my opinion. If Inter loses against Fiorentina and us Juve, then they will get depressed. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna lose against Fiorentina. I know they're doing well in the season, but every time I watch Fiorentina, I've watched quite a lot, and I'm like, and maybe I watched the wrong games. Maybe it's by chance. I'm like, how are you guys in fourth? Like, I'm sorry. Like I've watched them live this season against an okay side, technically a very good side, but still, like it's the Belgium league, and I'm like, that was awful. Like you are poor, you know, you struggle to create. Actually, they're winning games 1-0. I don't think they're gonna lose against Fiorentina in the league. Yeah, since this season 4 teams in the Supercoppa. But the question I wanted to wrap up the show with was Hanin's one, and I lost it. Oh yeah, here it is. Because I asked about Lecce, and that's when we're gonna wrap it up. She said, "What about playing the three up front against Lecce?"
It will not happen. I would love it, but
Yeah, I don't think Allegri is gonna experiment like in such a crucial phase of the
but
season.
also then there is not much sub on the bench if both of them plays like Milik, and that's it.
I don't think Chiesa's fit enough to do that against Lecce. To be honest, as well.
Because if we play a front three, Chiesa is gonna have to run like a maniac.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna preview the Lecce game, but really quickly because I see a lot of people are kind of concerned about that Lecce game. The concern I have is just the vibes, you know, like going to that stadium. It's not. We don't play champagne football. From my memory can recall, and I'm going back years. We don't play champagne football at Lecce. Like it's always an ugly game, whatever. Is that maybe like I don't know if you have any doubts about that game, but is it based?
Yeah,
Because
I'd
based
say
on
that's-
Lecce's qualities, I don't think we should be that concerned. If I'm being completely honest.
yeah, I get that, but at the same time, there are just some stadiums and like places that you go to where you're like, we should be beating them. Like if it was a home game, you'd have no doubt about it. But just some stadiums, I always felt that whenever we played one of the Verona teams at the Bentegode, every time we'd play one of the Genova teams, Sampdoria or Genoa, it just I don't know, just some, it's always a 1-0, a 1-1, or maybe
Yeah.
Lecce can get a surprise win. They beat Lazio. They should have beat Milan this year. So yeah, it doesn't strike me as an easy ground to go to, which is why people might be worried about
Mikkoli is in prison, so we're gonna win. We have to win.
it.
Oh my god. I'm gonna preview that game. I'm not gonna give. I still need to look into Lecce a little bit, a bit because they fell off. Obviously, they were not gonna stay in the top at the top, basically. But it's not. I don't think it's gonna be a walkover because we don't do kind of walkovers. Unless it's Coppa Italia or January games at home. That's the proof. That's our walkovers. Other than that, we do not do walkovers. So I don't think we're gonna stroll into Lecce and we're gonna beat them like 3-0. Like that's not gonna happen, you know. But I'm gonna preview that game later this week. We're gonna wrap this one up. We are an hour in at this point, which is which I didn't know. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was like 30 minutes,
Good,
but
good discussion. It's time flies.
Yeah.
I thought it was 30
Yeah.
minutes. I look at the clock, it's already Thursday. But we're gonna wrap it up. People who have joined, thanks. Do like the video. Let's get to at least 40 likes for this one, even if you're rewatching it, because most people do rewatch live. So thanks for that as well. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit that bell notification. I will have a new show out tomorrow. It's not really a news show. It's more an opinion show based on the news. So that's that. But yeah, thanks guys for coming. We play Sunday. So the next show is on Monday. I will ask who wants to join, but the next show is on Monday. Before I leave, thanks for joining, by the way. Quick predictions, because I will not have you on before the game, for Sunday.
We have to get a goal at one point, so I say 2-1, and we're gonna win. No, 3-1. Let's make it 3.
3-1.
3-1.
Oh, 3.
Yes.
So it's a
No, no,
walkover.
it's a league game. It's an away game, and away games are always 2-1. Home games are 1-0. Away games are 2. So I'll say 2-1.
Actually, yeah.
That's the pattern this season, Ad.
I need to start batting again at this point.
You know,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
need to see the starting 11, and then I can say. But 3-1, yeah, and then we will see. If Kostić starts, 2-1.
He will probably start.
I think he will start. I will give my prediction later this week. I still need to. I need to sleep on it a little bit more. But yeah, this is it, guys. Thanks for watching. Next post game show is on Monday evening. So that's that, and I will be back probably Thursday. Maybe I will skip. I will take a night off tomorrow, but I will be definitely live on Friday. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. See you guys. Ciao.